And me personally, I don't call it light language, I call it galactic language because that's what it truly is. It's a galactic language, it's a galactic tongue to which we can communicate with other star beings and other star seeds in that level.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of the Spiritual Inspired show. I am your host, Claudiu Murgan. For older episodes, please visit spiritualinspired.ca, our YouTube channel, or most recently, auraverse.network. My guest today is Hillis Pugh. Hillis, thank you very much for joining me.
Mhm. Thank you for having me, Claudia. It's an honor to grace this space with you today.
Yes, we've been interacting for I think a year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe a little bit more. And it came to me as a surprise that you are highly involved in spiritual activities. And you, in your profile, you say that you are an Omni resonance architect of the Sirian-Lemurian lineage teacher. So we'll go into that as we expand this conversation. But also in your background, you mentioned career in operations and graphic design, before shifting fully into spiritual work. So how did that transition happen for you, and what determined you to do it fully?
Well, I think with everyone, the shift always happens when you have that quote unquote come to Jesus moment when everything seems lost, everything is has been flipped upside down. And that's what happened to me back in 2008. I lost my business, lost my job, lost my relationship, and I'm like, what am I going to do now? And so it was the foundation of gratitude that really catapulted me into what I'm doing now, was the catalyst for all things spiritual that I do, after, losing everything, and having that moment and turning to family, friends for emotional and financial support, and me getting out of my own way to really begin to receive the help and to understand what gratitude really meant and to have a deep appreciation for that energy, for the reverence and connection of family and friends. And that just, catapulted me to where I am now as this practitioner of light, as this omni resonance architect, as a psychic medium, as all these various modalities, as they all blend into one, you can't have one without the other, so to speak. So it's just in that space of really understanding the energy that I allow myself to hold and be of service to others.
Beautiful. And I mentioned, and you also mentioned the Omni resonance architect. Can you
Yeah.
please explain what this concept is?
So this is a concept that came to me and it's relatively new. So I will let everyone know who's watching word by word what this means. So omni, we understand means God, all, omnipotent, and it is in that space and vibration of really understanding what the all truly is because we embody the all. We just have forgotten that we have access to this that's within us. Resonance is the vibration and frequency in which we operate from, or which source operates from. So we have the opportunity to always modulate, shift our frequency to hold a specific resonance, to connect to, for my instance, with clients, with source energy, with whomever or whatever. And once we hold that frequency, we can allow ourselves to be of greater service. And architect is one who creates, one who builds, one who has a foundation and really create from a different space, having the structural integrity and foundation to hold the space, create the space, and honor the space for those who walk in the space with me.
And practically, how do you implement this approach with your clients or in what you are doing on a daily basis?
Well, for me on a daily basis, personally, it is through my personal meditative practices. it is through my mindfulness, it is through my awareness, it is my uh, taking actions in my day or not taking actions. It is really understanding that vibrational resonance and frequency that I hold that guides me into doing what is next. But for my clients, it is through the Sirian-Lemurian light energy that I allow myself to channel to hold this space for them, honor this space for them, and then bring in this frequency through light language, through a guided meditation to be of service to them. And yes, it's a guided meditation, soul transmission. It may sound simple and easy, and yes, it is because it's for people to digest the simplicity of this. But it is a very potent and powerful energy medicine that I allow myself to transmit for the well-being of the soul.
And do you work only on one-on-one sessions, or you organize groups and retreats? What's your procedure?
Well, I prefer one-on-ones and groups, and when I work with groups, it is those who have common themes. But one-on-ones more are more effective because I can get to the individual at a soul level because that's where I work. I don't work in the body. I work at a soul level to really bring in the transmission, and as we do everything at a soul level, we then ground that energy into the body, into that space to really begin to harmonize and create that resonance frequency for the physical space to hold the new energies that are coming in through light language, through the affirmations, through regular integration practices to help hone and honor that frequency that we've created in that space.
And do you see often that through this process, your clients get their light language activated?
Well, it's not necessarily getting their light language activated. It's more so clearing what is in their way for them to evolve into the next evolution of self. Because as we know, our soul holds the divine information, the divine memory, the divine blueprint. But here in this 3D, now 4D reality, we are now coming into the space of collective remembering. And so, in the space of collective remembering, we now have to let go of all that no longer serves us. Let go of the pain, let go of the trauma, let go of the blame, let go of the victimization, let go of all the lower vibrating 3D energies and information to allow us to move into 5 dimensions. Because 4D is the space where we are now collectively shedding and letting go of all the old. And so when we step into the higher realms of frequencies, we then can begin to use our light, understand the light, and then begin to eventually open and hone our innate abilities, such as telepathy and soon telekinesis and those other abilities for us to be of service and better harmonization and communication with each other.
Yes. And what was the process for you to determine that you are coming from a Syrian/Lemurian lineage? It's quite interesting.
Well, the soul is the soul, right? I mean, when you look at the soul has many lives, many incarnations, and whether it's here on Earth or other planets. And I know personally, I've been here on the planet 200 times. But to answer your question, I was in the alignment of getting my second, my Reiki 2 certification. I was getting ready to do that, go for that, but I paused because there was something in me that said there's something greater, there's something that's more meaningful, there's something that is encompassing all that I desire to do. And I found my teacher on social media. It's like, this very long post about the Sirian-Lemurian light energy. And I'm like, okay, read line by line, word for word, everything. And it resonated with me so much. I'm like, this is what I have to do next. This is my mission. This is my purpose. This is the next move for me. And as I went through this 8-month process of clearing out my stuff so I can be attuned to be of service to others, this really assisted me in knowing where I've come from. And I've always resonated with Lemuria. And as I got to know, as I got to know Syrian energy, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense because Syrian is the home planet, Sirius A, B, and C. And even now in my studies now, I'm uncovering more about both of these great lineages, these great energies that hold us here together on this planet.
Very interesting. And the light language you speak is both Lemurian and Syrian. And why I'm asking is because I am under the impression that I've been activated by an Arcturian
Hmm.
meditation. But when I speak light language is Beta Centauri. At least this is what I was told by Ria Loveguard, which is a intergalactic or galactic linguist. And she said
Mm.
it's very unusual for a man to speak this language because it's a very feminine language. So, what
Mm.
about you? You're speaking both of them?
Well, I would like to meet this young lady because honestly, I don't know exactly, but I know that I do speak Arcturian and I speak Syrian energy. And the Lemurian energy is just human, technology, human words. But just to give people an understanding of how this evolved, is you look at Egyptian hieroglyphs, you look at Chinese, Cantonese, and Mandarin characters. That's also light language. It's the closest thing on this planet we have to light language. And me personally, I don't call it light language. I call it galactic language because that's what it truly is. It's a galactic language. It's a galactic tongue to which we can communicate with other star beings and other star seeds in that level, whether if it's spoken aloud or at a whisper or even telepathically. It's this energy, the resonance, the vibration that we can feel, because that's what essentially it is. It's just a vibration of energy to assist us, whether if we are doing a clearing, whether we're doing healing, or if we're evolving, whatever it is, there's a light language or word of that galactic language that suits that frequency for what is being called for. And this is what I use in my soul transmissions when I work with my clients one on one.
Yes, and I think what people have to understand or acknowledge that um, is the frequency of what we express that is important, not necessarily the
Yes,
meaning of what is being transmitted.
right.
And they have to just not use their intellect and logic to make sense of what's going on during this process.
Yeah, it's definitely more of an intuitive space, but I can tell you that I am able to translate galactic language when someone speaks it. It was a surprise to me when I was able to do this. When I had my own show a while ago with my co-host, and we would do a Friday night tune-up, and she would do sound, and I would do additional transmissions with her. And there was one night where she did her sound and did her galactic language. And I was like, wait a minute. I think I can translate this into English without the filter. And so when I was able to do it for the first time, it was like, this is amazing. And so when people speak it, and especially if I'm connected to them, if I pause and listen and hear and feel, I can translate it into English.
Yes, and I think I recently read that some archaeologists took the cuneiform language, which they're not able to translate, for centuries pretty much,
Mhm.
and they put it through AI, and AI was able to translate it for them, and there is a match between that translation and older ancient texts. So this gives me the idea. Maybe I will put through AI some of my audio recordings, and you can also do the same and see if any AI will interpret it in a like English language.
Yeah, I mean, and if people want, I mean, honestly, this planet is much older than what we truly know. The first civilization of Mu is over 70,000 years old. And so when we take that into consideration, because there's this idea that Egypt, goes as far as back as 5 and 10,000 years, it's much older than that because in my personal studies, understanding the beginning of the planet of this civilization, of this current civilization, because right now, I think we're in the fifth or sixth civilization of
The
this
fifth,
planet.
yeah. This is what
Yeah.
I know is the fifth, yeah. Or the yeah, I
But
think maybe it might be the sixth, in fact. Yeah.
yeah, because I think we're moving into the sixth. 6.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not if I remember correctly. And so, when you have the first civilization of Mu or Lemuria, because they are interchangeable depending on who you speak with, from there to Atlantis and then to Egypt, it is in these instances where you begin to understand the human involvement and the footprints that we have left behind to really understand the ways we interacted with one another.
Yes, I mean the dogma and those at the top in Egypt, they want to keep us believe that Egypt was born at the same time when kind of religion was created in that part of the world, or when humans came up on Earth, which is not
Mhm.
true. And more discoveries, like recent discoveries this year underneath the pyramids, just tell us that the technologies that were used to create such constructions and edifices were impossible to be developed only 5, 6,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's all sound, it's all vibration, it's all frequency. And when you begin to understand the different sounds and frequencies, which is why, personally, I don't, but when you have other healers, quote unquote, use sound and frequency and vibration in their practice to be of service to others, that speaks to the true essence of what happened all those years ago, those millennia ago. And so I use sound and frequency in a different way. Sound is the more potent and primal way. It is the secondary, but when you step into the space of transmission of energy, doesn't matter where you are on the planet. Light can be sent, sound can be sent, frequencies are frequencies. And so when you understand that, which is why I've chosen the path of understanding the Omni space and understanding the all, when you understand that all is everything and everything is all. And when you move into that space, it doesn't matter as long as you hold that belief and that resonance, that frequency, that you truly can be of service no matter what capacity, no matter what tools or energies you utilize.